On this video, I'm going to show you the 10 things that are going to be amazing and make you a ton of money on your first house. What's going on? My name is Bill Allen. I am a military pilot turned full-time real estate investor. I have flipped and wholesaled over 800 houses in the past few years, and I have made a lot of mistakes, so you don't have to. My goal is to help you think differently, especially as a first-time flipper, to be able to make a ton of money on your first deal and every deal thereafter. So this video is going to be about the 10 things to watch for, so positives in your first house. The first one is something that I didn't realize for a while. I looked at some older houses, like 100-year-old houses, and we've done a couple of those, and they have been huge problems for us. So a newer year house, like when I'm looking at houses right now, the newer the house, the better for me. I know that it's gonna be less work, things like that. So newer year homes are a huge positive for me when I'm looking at flips. The second one is the worst house in the best neighborhood. So I want to look at really nice neighborhoods and buy the worst house in that neighborhood, the one that has the most ability to get fixed up. That means it has the most equity that you can force into that and force appreciate in there so you can make the maximum amount of profit for you and your business. The third one is a little amount of rehab. So I kind of talked about age of the house, but if I have to do a smaller rehab on a property, it means I have less holding time, which means more profit for me. We've done some really big projects in the past and it looked like big dollars, but every time I have to put $50,000 or $100,000 into a house, there's always a contingency. We almost always go a little bit over budget and a little bit over timeline. And what that does is just eats into my profits. Every piece of that eats into my profits. I've done houses where I've done no work and I've made a ton of money, or I've done just a little bit of work and still we have a shorter timeline and we're able to suck as much profit out of that deal as possible. So I would look for something, especially when I'm flipping my first house, that doesn't need a ton of work and not a huge budget, because that can be discouraging. The next one is big ticket items. And when I say big ticket items, I'm talking about roofs, I'm talking about foundations, electrical systems, plumbing systems, and HVAC systems. When it comes to all of this, what I'm looking for is something that doesn't have a ton of big ticket items. If it just needs a roof replaced, that's fine. If it just needs an HVAC system, or it just needs some plumbing work, that's fine. However, once I get into multiple of these, or just a foundation, I would stay away from foundational work in the very beginning unless you're a foundation expert. This is something that's bit me in the butt quite a few times. We've thought it hasn't been a big deal on the foundation. Next thing you know, we're spending an extra $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 putting more money into the foundation than we thought we would. So I stay away from those completely. So the positive of this is if it doesn't need a lot of these major mechanicals, or maybe just one. And a roof is usually my favorite thing. Roof and HVAC. The HVAC unit is the same thing. I can bring somebody in one day and they can replace the HVAC system or they can replace the roof. Usually full rewires of electrical, that's a long period of time that they have to do the work. Same thing with plumbing. And the next thing you know, especially with rewires of electrical, they're having to make holes in the walls, they're having to pull out things and damage the house that I have to fix and put more money into on the back end. Same thing with plumbing. We're jacking up concrete, we're finding other stuff, or we're pulling out walls and flooring. Those two, along with the foundation, I would tend to stay away from in a first flip. The next one is multiple exit strategies. So I love deals that have multiple exit strategies. And what I mean by that is I can flip it to make a profit, I could hold it and rent it long term, maybe I could owner finance it, I could buy it and sell it on owner financing, or I could buy it and rent it out as a short-term rental or something like that. So lots of different options. Or maybe I want to move into it in the future if it doesn't sell. When I have multiple exit strategies, that is a all systems go, I'm buying this house because I can't go wrong with it regardless of what happens. If it doesn't sell quickly, I have a lot of other options with it. So multiple exit strategies are probably my favorite thing to do with flip deals. The next one is median home price. So what I try to do is I try to find houses when I'm flipping first and second time home buyer area. It's a supply and demand opportunity here. So what I want is I want the area that has the most demand. So what price point of houses has the most demand out there in the marketplace at that time? Usually it's right around the sweet spot of median home price. That's where people are looking. The first time home buyers are there, the second time home buyers are there, and it's not up in the luxury market and it's not incredibly cheap where people don't have credit and they have to pay cash. So right there in the sweet spot is that median home price in your area. So look at that, and when I find houses there, in a desirable area, I'm buying them for sure. Like that's where I would be looking if I was a first-time flipper. And so that's where I'd recommend you look. That median home price, if you find something, maybe your median home price is around 150. And so anything from like 130 to 170, that's kind of the wheelhouse that I'd be looking in. And you know that there's going to be so many buyers and a huge demand for that, even in a down market. So that's where I'd be looking. The next one is something that realtors can't really talk about, but we as flippers can talk about this and look there and really target it. It's school systems. So I'm always looking for the best school systems. When I go to a new market, when I'm expanding and I'm kind of going out to a new place and underwriting the market and looking for homes to flip, I'm looking in the school districts because I want those families, I want those people that are buying in those median home prices, and I'm looking for the highest demand. The highest demand is always going to be in the best school systems, or there's something going on. There's a path of progress. And this, if you're in metro markets like downtown cities, that's usually not the case. But it is about like the walking score and other things like that. But in the suburbs, school districts are what drive housing prices. So if I'm in a really good school district, I'll look at the school rankings and ratings, I'll ask around, I'll talk to the realtors, where do the families want to live, where's the biggest demand, and it's usually around school systems or walking scores or something really cool if it's in a metro market that's downtown, that the schools aren't really the predominant area, it's more about being hip. So talk to the realtors about the hottest areas, and that's where I want to go, and it usually revolves around school systems. The next one is the number of bathrooms, and this might sound ridiculous, but it's very hard to sell a home with one bathroom. So I'm always looking at least 2 bathrooms or more. So something to think about if you're doing your first flip. I've seen so many people buy a 3-1, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and have trouble moving it on the back end, unless they're gonna put in another bathroom. And as a first-time flipper, I don't know that I would recommend you putting a full bath in as an add-on, unless you have a great contractor, you know what you're doing, maybe you have some background in that. But I always am looking for 3 baths or more, and I've been burned on the 3-bed or 4-bedroom, 1-bath houses that I've tried to fix up and get on the market quickly and sell. It's not very conducive to have more than one person living there, and it's usually not family friendly and those kind of things. So more than 1 bathroom. So I'd say 2 bathrooms or more, that's big for me and a sign of a really great house that you can flip as a first-time flipper. The next one is open concept. So this open concept space is huge right now, and it will be for a very long period of time, I think, and it has been for the last 5 or 10 years. So I want to either have an open concept or be able to create an open concept. So that might mean I can take down a wall, or I can just open up a doorway and double the size of it and create this open concept feel. Very popular right now. Everybody wants it. Every new construction home is happening that way right now. So if I can take an older house and create an open concept with it, then I will, and I think that's a great opportunity. And if it's already open concept, even better, because then I don't have to put in the uncertainty of opening up a wall or a doorway. All right, the last one is the needs of the area or the time that we're in. So I just talked about open concept, and that's kind of the needs of the time. It's the demand of the time, but there might be something else in that area that you're in. If you're looking in a neighborhood, you might have some need that people have. So if it's a garage or it's a pool or it's a large yard, like a house that has something that people are looking for in that price point, and it's very high demand. The way to find that is by asking realtors, asking the marketplace, what are you looking for in a home today? Maybe even just going on your Facebook page or one of your social media pages and saying, hey, if you were buying a new home today, what are the top 3 things that you'd be looking for? And then that's the green light on the house that you find. It's usually a large yard. It might be a pool in some areas. It's a 2-car garage when there's only 1-car garages. And those are the things to look for in that flip that can make you more money and make your house more desirable than the others in the area. These are the top 10 things that I think are a full system go green light on your first flip. If you're just about to invest in your first flip, check out this video. It's the top 10 mistakes that you want to avoid when flipping your first house to make sure that you make as much money as possible.